saw your light.
Well, come in. Look like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Oh, bad day at the office. I suppose you heard about the Carson baby.
Yeah, yes, I did. It's terrible.
You probably don't want to listen to your old man unwind.
Why not?
May I sit down?
Please, in here. Lonely little place.
This room?
This room, this wharf, this town.
I'm sure tonight's been pretty rough for you, Ron. Had you been seeing much of her lately?
Oh, no. No, we run into each other once in a while, but we're both supposed to be bright, sophisticated people. I guess we figured we could handle it.
That surprises me.
What?
Describing her as sophisticated. But of course I wouldn't know. I don't really know her.
She's the same girl, Dad. She's a little older, a little more mature, a little more battered by life, but she's basically the same girl you knew.
What are we talking about?
Are you putting me on?
I'm talking about the girl who's staying with the Carsons, the girl who's missing, the girl who took the Carson baby. Rachel Wells, isn't that her name?
Yes, that's her name.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Rachel. I just have a different interpretation of her. I knew her a little better than most people around here. She's not just a farm girl to me. She's sharp, Dad. She knows how to get right to the heart of a matter. She has an instinct for what's right and wrong, what's phony and what's real. She's quite a girl.
Sure. Oh, it's funny, I had an argument at the office today. One of those shouting sessions. Took me hours to calm down. I finally went back to my room at the inn and took a cold shower and tried to put the day in perspective. Then I heard the bulletin on the news. A kidnap. I don't know why. Somehow I felt involved.
I guess that kind of thing tends to bring people closer together.
Yeah, I guess. I feel such a terrific responsibility toward the mill. People who work at the mill.
Well, that's the price you pay for the catbird seat, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. I guess it's because I started working with my hands. You know, I walk through that gate in the morning and I see people I've known since I was in my 20s. Hundreds and hundreds of people. They all blend into one gigantic, agonizing human being. I wish I could keep myself at a distance, but I can't. Well, I'm afraid I've depressed you, Rod. I know I've depressed myself. It's getting late. You were talking about Betty, weren't you?
And you were talking about Jack Chandler, weren't you?
Come on, fellas, out.
What kind of a town you got here? They roll up the sidewalks 10 o'clock at night.
Look, it's already half an hour past closing time. Do I call the cops or are you gonna get out?
Ada, I've got to get a king.
I said out!
Okay, keep your bustle on. Come on, Frank. We'll finish the game outside.
Yeah, Ada, we'll finish the game outside.
Good night, gorgeous.
Good night.
Right on cue.
Hello, Ada.
I've been expecting you.
What do you mean?
I thought you'd hightail it over here as soon as you heard.
You know about the Carson baby?
Anything that happens here, we hear it first.
I heard it on the news. Look, Ada, I've got to talk to you.
Sure you gotta talk to me, Leslie. You gotta tell me how sorry you are that you gave Chandler a job. And you gotta tell me you're sorry because If he couldn't feed that big, ugly face of his, he wouldn't be here to take Rachel away from the Carsons. But I bet even you didn't figure that he was going to take the baby, too.
I didn't figure anything. All I did was give the man a job.
That was enough.
How was I supposed to know this was going to happen? The man needed a job, and I gave him one.
Big-hearted Leslie gave a poor, needy stranger a job. At the same time, you were laying off mill hands who'd been here for years.
All right, Ada, we don't have to play games. I felt I owed him something. A long time ago, we made kind of a business deal. It didn't pay off. But you know about that. We met a couple of times in your back room.
Must have been some deal.
Don't forget it was your husband who introduced me to Chandler.
Like I said, must have been some lousy, rotten deal.
Nothing came of it, nothing at all. So there's no reason for anyone ever to mention it. You understand?
Yeah, I understand. You want me to keep my mouth shut?
Well, do I have your word?
I don't know what went on between you and Chandler back there 20 years ago. But you know what I'm thinking? Maybe if I told the cops the little I do know about Chandler when they first came in here asking about him, maybe Rachel and that little Carson baby would be home in their beds now.
No. It wouldn't have made any difference.
Then tell me one thing, Leslie. Why are you in such a sweat?
I can't leave you here alone, Connie. Connie?
I have to be here. Suppose there's a phone call.
Well, I don't like it. I don't know how long I'll be. I'm going to stay with the police as long as it's practical anyway. That may take hours. And I don't want to leave you here in this house alone.
I'm going to stay.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll call up my father and have him come over and stay with you. Listen, darling, I hurt Chandler once. He's not going to forget that.
Elliot, let the police handle this. If he has her and the baby, but one move, one word might set him off. There's no telling what he might do. You can't afford to take that chance. Oh, Elliot, promise me you'll let the police handle this.
I think this whole thing was planned anyway. From the moment Chandler made his threat in the hospital. And all the time we thought it was Rachel he was after. And how frightened we were for her. And the fears we had for her safety and how beautifully she played along with it.
Oh, no.
Even her escape was an act. This whole abduction was a show that she and Chandler put on for our benefit.
You saw the state she was in when the police brought her back.
Yes, I saw, Connie. I think we both saw what we were meant to see. And we were so blinded by pity and compassion that we missed the obvious. That this frightened girl was deliberately sent back into our home to kidnap Matthew.
If she did what you're saying, it wasn't willingly, it was through fear.
Chandler must have some sort of hold on that girl because something draws her back to that twisted man.
It's fear. A fear stronger than anything she might feel for us.
With the probability of light showers, temperatures will remain in the 80s, however, with an expected high of 88. There's nothing new on the Carson matter. Earlier tonight, police reported that the infant son of Mr. and Mrs. Elliot Carson was missing from his home in Peyton Place, along with his teenage sitter, Rachel Wells. Police say there's no trace of Miss Wells or the child, although they're not willing at this time to classify the disappearance as a kidnapping. Further details on this as soon as they're available. In sport...
The baby. He's got the baby. Rachel said he'd do something awful. I mean, she told me and I didn't believe her.
Take it easy.
I should have warned them. I'm the only one she told. Why didn't I tell them?
Tell him what?
Chandler. Rachel said he'd try and get back at the Carsons, try and hurt them some way. That's what she's been afraid of. But I never really thought he'd do anything like this. No, you don't think he'd hurt the baby or Rachel, do you? He wouldn't do anything like that.
Look, it didn't say anything about Chandler. Now, take it easy. Come on, sit down.
No, we can't sit down. We've got to do something.
There's nothing we can do, and you're not supposed to get upset.
How can you worry about me? Chandler's got Rachel and the baby, and he could do anything to them.
The bulletin didn't say anything about Chandler, and the police aren't calling it a kidnapping. You know Rachel. She probably wanted to go for a walk, and she took the baby along with her. Now, come on. Sit down here. Just relax, will you? Take it easy. They'll find him. Relax.
Norm, do you know how to pray?
What?
You know, what you're supposed to say. They're the special words.
The words don't matter.
Yes, they do. I went to Sunday school when I was little, but all we ever did was color pictures. We never went to church because Mom had to clean the house on Sundays.
Honestly, there aren't any special words. Take it from a guy who won the attendance award for 3 years straight. Just whatever it is you're asking for, well, put it in your own words.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
I'm up to here with all that. Don't you understand? Well, why is it when you were the appointed spokesman, you blew it? Why didn't you hold your control? Why didn't you make her feel secure?